Welcome to Break Free to Brilliance podcast, empowering women in business through thought provoking interviews and insights. Embrace your authentic power, explore the impact of your story, and discover how writing your best selling book can amplify your message, authority, and the 3 I's: impact, influence, and income. Let each episode guide you towards brilliance in minutes. This is your host, Seema Giri. Welcome, Jean Kuhn.
Seema, how are you?
I am great. So happy to see you here today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here today.
I am so excited for everyone to hear about your story and what you are doing to help women live their best life. So let's start with that, June. Can you give us a little bit about your background and what is your story?
Well, my story is that I became self-employed on April 29th, 1985 at 8:52 p.m. And that is when the nurse put that first baby in my arms, and I knew I wasn't going back to a job that I freaking hated, right?
Mm.
And right, nobody's going to take care of that baby as well as I would. And I honestly have that baby will be 39 years old at the end of this month, which means I will have been an entrepreneur for 39 years on April 29th of this year. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. And I love how precise you were at 8:52 p.m.
Well, that happens to be the time on the birth certificate. So I figured it was as good. I knew before then I wasn't going to go back to a job I hated, but um, yeah, makes it for an interesting story.
Excuse me. No,
Sure.
definitely. Definitely. And when you decided to start your business,
Mhm.
what was the number one challenge that you faced when you started it?
Oh my gosh, I kind of did what a lot of entrepreneurs did back in the 80s, right? I started a business and I got no traction. So I started a different business and I got no traction. And then I started another business and I got no traction, right? And I did that probably for, I don't know, probably a good 5 years, right?
Oh,
Because
okay.
it was like I must be in the wrong business if nobody is wanting my services, not understanding word one about marketing and sales and all that that belongs to. So I literally spent the next probably 28 years becoming an entrepreneur, becoming a real entrepreneur, right? Learning how to do business. I eventually bought a dance studio in 1998. And my daughter was a 3-year-old dancer at the time. So, what mother doesn't just rush out and buy a dance studio, right? And I ran
Exactly.
that. And then I went on to buy two bankrupt chocolate businesses. And really, I used everything I had learned up to that point in marketing to turn around two bankrupt businesses really fast. So the lessons that I learned from that are what I teach now, right? How to turn around your business super fast so you can increase your revenue faster than you ever could believe.
Well, I love that. Who wouldn't love that, right?
Yeah, that's
Even
what
if you're
I
not
loved it.
bankrupt, right? You don't have to be bankrupt to learn that, do you, Jean?
Oh my God, please don't go bankrupt before you learn that, right? And a lot of times, small business owners will wait till the very end before they will seek out help, right? So, if it's okay with you, I would like to share 5 ways I turned around those two bankrupt businesses. And even though they were brick and mortar, they are relevant for every service based business out there. Would that
Well,
be cool?
that was going to be my next question, so go right ahead.
Oh, okay, cool. So, number one was customer service. And customer service looks like what's your messaging, right? Does your customer understand it? How do you treat people when they walk into your business, whether it be a brick and mortar or into your virtual business? When they look at your website, is your messaging correct there, right? So customer service to me was really, really important. Number one, I bet you're a lot like me, Seema, that you vote where you're doing business with your money, right?
Mhm.
I
Yes.
do not spend money at any bad serviced business except the post office, and that's because I have to. Right? So don't do business like the post office, number one. But customer service is so easy to do too, right? It's free, it's easy to do, and it's just about treating people with respect and gratefulness that they decided to do business with you. So when I bought that first bankrupt business, I was literally grateful to see any face that walked into that store.
Mhm.
Number two is I call that strategic volunteering, right? So one of the things I did was I joined the business association. And listen, that's like every service-based business can do that. Where would you join? You might join the Chamber of Commerce, or you might join a BNI group or a networking group or a women's group, whatever that is. Join some place where you have other business owners who, if you're doing B2B, that it needs your services, right? If you're doing B2C, then where are those customers hanging out? You've got to find that out. You've got to figure out where they're hanging out, and you have to position yourself where they're going to be. I shared their summer art project one year, right? We were selling Adirondack chairs, and it was my job to go around to the businesses and sell those chairs. Listen, when you do that 30, 40, 50 times asking for a sale, I got a little bit better at a sale and asking for it in a retail perspective, but it did not translate over to service for me, right? I hadn't yet really started this business, and sales was really difficult for me when I first started. So you have to learn to ask, right? That's one thing there. When you're selling, you have to ask. Um, let's see, what number three is strategic volunteering. I want to tell you a quick story about that. I have a client who's a financial planner, and he was invited to join the Brookfield Zoo board of directors, or their board of directors there. But here's the deal. It came with a $25,000 price tag. So if he became a board member, he was literally donating $25,000 to the zoo. But it put him in front of his ideal clients all the time. Because if you know anything about a zoo, the zoos are always doing fundraisers, right? There's black
Mhm.
tie galas, there's parties galore. And the board members is exactly who his ideal clients would be, high worth individuals. So put yourself, strategically volunteer, and put yourself in a position to be seen doing good. I had a friend who was a realtor in Ahwatukee, Arizona, and she would take her little girls, they were 6 or 7 years old at the time, twin daughters, take them to the Humane Society every Saturday, and they would read to puppies every Saturday. And all she did was film that, right? She was taking her kids to do a service project, but as a business owner, she got credit for that. And she ended up winning Awatuki's Businesswoman of the Year for 2 years, right?
Oh, wow.
So how can you be seen doing good in the business world, right? Um, should I keep going on? Or do you have any
Yes.
questions?
Well, yeah, no, I was going to say that those are very good points that you're making, and they're really simple too. And I think we may already be doing them, but not connecting it to our business that, oh, this is what it is. But Jane, sometimes, like that example you gave, that she was taking her kids, but she was filming it and she got credit for the business. I think that I would feel sometimes that, can I really do that? Is that combining two different things? That would that look right? How do you answer to that?
Well, let me say that she was not promoting her business at all. But
Okay.
people knew who she was, right? She was out there and about all the time. So she would say, I'm bringing my daughters to work, right? She would take pictures of them. I never missed a Saturday morning when she was taking her little girls. Those little girls now just started college, right? But when she took her little girls to go to the Humane Society, I was watching all along. Her people were all watching as well, right? Her people were understanding that she's teaching her daughters to do good. And when you teach your children to do good in the community, you're going to do well in your business.
Thanks for clarifying that, because I think many people get stuck in that. I know I was stuck for a while with that. You're living life as you are. You're an amazing person. You're part of the community and you're doing community activities and to make it a better place.
Thank
And you want to basically, you're documenting your life and sharing that, right? We're doing that on Facebook, on social media anyway.
Right.
So share that part of your life as well. I think that's really important. Great points,
How
Jean.
can how, I'm gonna say take it one step further than that, Seema. Share only that part of your life, the good stuff, because it is so depressing to go out and watch somebody else's posting rant after rant after rant, or what's wrong with their business. And literally every Facebook post I make is really to make somebody laugh. And if you don't laugh, you don't get me. Right? Because if you think I might be complaining or I might be, you don't understand what I'm really saying, right?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're posting good stuff too, not crap on Facebook.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Make it holistic, right? Make it balanced because
right.
if your customers are there watching you
Oh my
and if
gosh,
you
they're
don't
watching.
have the other aspect to balance it out,
Right,
it's not going to give you a good reputation.
right.
So I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah.
So what are the other 2 points?
I have two more. Well, I have three more. Actually, the other one is strategic. I talked about sampling, right? I owned two chocolate stores. I literally was not above taking trays of chocolate and walking outside up and down the sidewalk, passing out samples for the chocolate store. I had a restaurant on each side of my shop, right? So all I really had to do was stand outside the front door and offer samples, and it would bring them into the store. How can you sample in your business other people, right? This is how I sample now. I've sold off my stores. I don't have those any longer, but this is how I sample people now. I go out in public and I speak and I tell people the stories of how I turned around two bankrupt businesses, because every single person can turn around their own business with either the right strategies or the right help, the right mentor to help them move forward in that. So sampling is something really well. Education, that you want to, if you're educating your audience, you're sampling them. If you're giving away a freebie, like all of your guests today have a freebie that they're giving away, a gift, that's sampling them, right? So how can you figure out how you can sample the most people possible out there in your community? Any questions there?
No, I think that's great. And
Okay.
that could also be like Facebook Lives, your 1 hour workshop that you're doing,
Right. Oh,
right?
an event, a one-day event or a
1 day event.
workshop.
Yeah.
Right. The last thing I wanted to talk, well, I have two more. Number one is email marketing. I love, love, love email marketing for one reason only. I only write to amuse myself, right? So if I'm having fun writing it, hopefully people are having fun reading it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give you the 5 points that you need to have when you're coming to email marketing. Is that okay?
Yes,
So
please. I was,
number one is you have to have a great subject line, a great subject line that will get it opened. Last year I was unsubscribing from a lot of newsletters and things I had subscribed to with 46,000 emails in my inbox. And I came across a woman and I pulled her name up, and it just was pages and pages and pages of emails. But the very number one email, when I was just getting ready to select all of them and delete it, the subject line was, well, slap my ass and call me Sally. I thought, what? What does that mean? Slap my ass and call me Sally. So I opened up the email to see what the heck she was talking about, right? And she was promoting an Instagram program, but it had ended the day before I finally opened up her email. But I reached out and I said, "Hey, I'd love to join this. Can I still get in?" Right? And I never heard back. Never heard back. So it was 2 or 3 or 4 days later. She finally got around to. She was busy. She was onboarding all of her clients, and she got around to sending me back a message that said, "Yes, you can." But by then I had moved on, right? So I never
Hmm.
responded. Bad on me. 2 weeks later, I'm looking at Facebook, and there is a post from her that says, what do you do when somebody asks you if they can get in? They tell you they're unsubscribing from your list, because I literally, she didn't know my sense of humor, right? I've literally said I was unsubscribing, but oh my God, your subject line stopped me in my tracks. But she didn't take it the way I meant it, right?
Oh.
So right, so she says, "What do you do when somebody tells you they're unsubscribing and then they want to join your program, and then you know what? That bitch didn't even join, right?"
Oh.
I'm like, that bitch was me. So, right. So I didn't say anything, and this year we're in the same program together. We have the same coach. We're colleagues. And she said, "Hey, Jean Kuhn, you're pretty funny. Could we do something together?" And I said, yes. So we set something up. And then at the end, I said, "But I think we have to finish up with a little uncomfortable conversation." I'm the bitch, right? I'm the bitch. And turns out she didn't understand how I meant it. She didn't know me. She didn't know my personality. And I wasn't mad because I could see how she saw me that way, right? So, and now just, but the point is, give a great subject line when you're email marketing. It got me to open it, it got me to collaborate, and it got me with a friend, right?
Yes.
Number two is content, right? Your content has to be really, really good, really, really good. It shouldn't be boring. What does Pennies and all of those places send out? Kohl's. It's buy my stuff, buy my stuff.
Right.
It shouldn't be just about buying your stuff. It should be, what kind of value are you providing people? Number three, something extra, right? Something extra. I think I missed something here along lines because I'm kind of going through there, but something extra to me was I always put a little recipe in my chocolate newsletter. This time when I do my newsletter now, it's news to use for business owners. I'll put a video that I found interesting in there. So there's some extra value for people.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. The last one was have a call to action, right? You have to have a great call to action in your newsletter. Oh, I know what the other one was. The beginning, number two was connect. You've got to find a way to connect with them right away. And connection is probably the most important thing in your newsletter. You should always start it with a couple sentences of no more than a couple sentences of something personal that's going on with you, right? Most people don't want to do that. But I will tell you the connections that I developed in the chocolate store when I had that, I've carried on into this business. I shared when my daughter graduated college, I shared a photo of her. She'd worked in that store since she was 12 years old. And I shared a picture of her in her cap and gown and talked about how proud I was to be her mommy and that she is now a registered nurse. She graduated nursing school. And I had a woman reach out from Tennessee. I'm in the Chicago area. I had a woman reach out from Tennessee to share with me that her daughter had to take a semester off from nursing school because she had two brand new baby girls. And so how she was going back, but she wanted the connection there between moms was so strong that she wanted me to know she also had a daughter she's super proud of, that she can't wait for the world to know that she's a nurse too. And I was so touched by that. I have no idea who she was. I don't know how the only way you could get on my email list is if you were in my store. There was no other way to get on it, right? So she had to come at some point. But that connection, you can connect so many different ways. You can connect by being a mom. You can connect by having children. You can connect over food. You can connect over wine. You can connect over puppies. Seema, if you show me the picture of a puppy, you and I are going to be best friends forever, ever, whether you want to or not,
Oh,
right?
I'm going to send it right after this summit.
Okay, good. And then I'll send you back a picture of my new puppy that I just got Saturday, right?
Oh,
It's really literally a puppy. So find that way to connect. Now, are you a cat person?
no, dog
Okay, good.
person.
So what do you do you've got a cat and I've got a dog, right? You're going to have to get rid of that cat, get a dog, and then we can connect, right? But there's so many different ways that you can connect. So, and all
Right.
of it through email marketing is just tell stories, right? Write stories.
I love that. And email marketing has been one of the toughest things for me. I'm still struggling with that, but that's such a great example that you gave. Have a great subject line, connection, to give a little extra. Um, and these are really interesting ways. Be yourself too, right? Just be yourself, and hopefully people get you. The thing I've always been so concerned about, how are people going to take it? I need to word it this way, and I need to be that way, which I think is still important, right? But you have to be yourself at the same time.
I'm going to say, I hate to quote Bill Cosby, but Bill Cosby said, when you try to please everyone, you please no one. And the older I get, the less I care about pleasing everyone, Seema. So I'm just going to say, find your old lady faster, right? So you don't care about who you're pleasing and just literally speak from your heart to the people who hear you. And it's not what you say, it's what they're going to hear. So your
Yes.
ideal clients will hear you and get you. The rest of them are just to pass through. It's like, hi, bye.
That is great, great insight, Jean. And I hope those who are listening are really embracing that. You can't please everyone. If you try to please everyone, you're pleasing no one.
Right.
All you need to do is please your, not even please, connect with your ideal clients, the people that you're meant to serve. We're all serving different people, right? Even
Right.
though we're all serving women, but we're targeting different types of women, right?
Mhm.
Different age groups, different personalities. And so, and the only way that I have found that has worked well for me, and I think Jean is saying the same thing, is to be yourself. You be yourself, show who you are, and people are going to like you for who you are. Because you know what? All other types of people are taken. You're here for a reason, so you need to be you.
Right. And your ideal clients will hear you.
Yes, yes, and that's a key thing. So, Jean, I loved having this conversation with you. Amazing insights. I've learned so much myself. Please let us know what your insights are and takeaways from what you heard from Jean. And Jean, I believe you have an amazing gift for everyone.
I do have an amazing gift because there's another one or two things I did not talk about, and it's called the five marketing strategies that will make your business more appealing. And I also had decided to add for the first 13 people who download it, and you'll get a second email that says your calendar link is inside. If you click on that calendar link, I am going to give people the first 13 their custom marketing strategy to run their business, to turn their businesses around. So for the first 13 who want to their own custom marketing strategy, I'd love to create that with them. I normally would charge $297 for that, but because I really like you, Seema, that's going to be free for them. So it's everything, the freebie and a phone call for their custom strategy.
What a great offer. Thank you so much. That is, I mean, you can't pass this up. So I hope you take on Jean's offer here. And the link is in the chat. You definitely don't want to miss that. And there was a question if this Zoom link is for the next session or it's for the rest of today's session. Same Zoom link for the rest of the day. We kept it the same, so it just makes it easier for everyone. Jean, thank you so much for your time. I loved talking with you and getting a lot of insights. Make sure that you connect with Jean, and it'll be amazing. We
Seema,
are
thank you.
now. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Break Free to Brilliance podcast. And I hope you had some key takeaways that you can implement right away. Be sure to subscribe to Break Free to Brilliance wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow along with us on social media using the links in the show notes below. We'll see you again for the next episode.